Yeah, not really. From the world of John Wick, Ballerina, says the guy dressed as John Wick. Try not to laugh while I do this review. Yes, the John Wick universe is expanding. This is the first proper spin-off of the John Wick series. Does Ballerina live up to the action legacy of John Wick? The story doesn't follow John Wick, but Eve Macaro, a little girl who witnesses her father's. You know what? I'm barely gonna go over the plot here. Basically, her dad is killed. She's raised by the Ruskaroma, the ballerina assassin school. She trains, she gets good, she goes out on assignment, and then she goes on a mission to hunt down the cult that killed her dad. Along the way, she runs into the man, the myth, the legend, John Wick. That's basically all you need to know. Oh, and the fact that this takes place during John Wick Chapter 3, so that's all the way back to 2019. I don't know, who cares? This is basically just an action delivery system with a new action hero, the lovely, beguiling, badass Ana de Armas. Her Eve Macaro is given kind of a richer, deeper backstory than Keanu's, where she's plucky, determined, and perseverant. This is one of the few action movies that recognizes that women and men fight differently, so they actually acknowledge that she has to be better and try harder. And that means she has to be a little more ingenious with how she takes down baddies than John Wick. Sure, she can shoot them well, just like he does, but she has to get crafty. And this is where the action of the movie takes it up a notch. Eve basically uses anything and everything around her to kill bad guys. We're talking glass plates, grenades, ice picks, figure skates, and even a frickin' TV remote control. But before we get all that, we have to wade through the backstory and the generic as hell revenge plot, which, let's be honest, we don't really care about. I mean, when it comes to avenging a loved one, puppy definitely outweighs dad. Sorry. That's one of the big issues with this, is that Eve and De Armas is at a big disadvantage because Keanu has put such a stamp on this franchise. So we have to get over the hurdle of the fact that this isn't about John Wick, and that this is a new character, that it's a side quill, not a prequel or a sequel. It still builds off all the fantastic lore and has some fan favorite characters: Ian McShane's Winston, Lance Reddick's Concierge, RIP to a legend. But it throws a whole bunch of new characters at us that aren't really given a lot of time. Characters played by Norman Reedus, Catalina Sandina Moreno, and the big baddie, the Chancellor, played by Gabriel Byrne. Good to see him again. And you'll notice the action filmmaking doesn't quite match with the director whose name is on this movie. Yes, there have been rumors that John Wick franchise director Chad Stahelski took over and basically reshot a ton of this from Underworld director Lynn Wiseman. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but the action is too good, too clean, and too well choreographed for Lynn freaking Wiseman to have done this. I mean, he did the Total Recall remake that no one saw back in 2012. If Stahelski did step in, he saved this because the action is what you come to these movies for. And while it doesn't reach the jaw-dropping legendary heights of the Reeves movies, it's still a fun time at the movies, especially in the second half where Eve goes to a European village that's basically a retirement community for assassins. So then she has to get into fights with not just your typical baddies, it's the chef and the barmaid and the soccer mom who are coming after her. And of course, Keanu comes back for a few scenes. Now, it's always great to see him, especially as this character, but it does signal that the filmmakers didn't really have a lot of confidence that this could stand on its own. He doesn't quite take over the movie, but it does kind of lessen the Eve character, and it shows that this franchise is probably really going to struggle without Keanu Reeves. Yet that kind of doesn't matter once we get to the end, which makes it all worth it. I'll just say this: flamethrower versus fire hose. Real fire, real stuntmen getting lit on fire. That's why we go to these movies, and it makes up for a lot. Ballerina in no way can live up to the Keanu Reeves films. It's definitely the weakest in this franchise. There's too much setup, a boring generic plot, and the new characters don't quite hit. But Ana de Armas is electric, and the action eventually kicks unholy amounts of ass. This is basically the definition of a 3-star movie. If you like this review, please like and subscribe, or follow me on Letterboxd at Ramirez S316. No puppies were harmed in the making of this review.